Situations like this are why I need some of the best travel insurance out there. However, these days I don't have the time or the patience to deal with the paperwork of traditional insurance companies. That's why in this video, I'll review Faye Travel Insurance, a service with robust digital solutions that aim to make travel insurance a breeze. But is Faye Travel Insurance legit or just good marketing? Let's break it down. Let's start by comparing Faye to traditional travel insurance companies and see how they make it easier to insure your trip. The first step is actually buying the service. With Faye Travel Insurance, everything is quick and straightforward. Just click the link in the description below and you'll be able to follow along and see how much it would cost to insure your trip. Now, if you've been wondering how to get a travel insurance online, well, with Faye, you simply enter a few basic details about your trip, like your destination, travel dates, state of residence, and the total estimated trip cost. Based on this information, Faye will provide you with a price for a plan tailored to your specific trip. Here's how it would look if I decided that I needed some Vietnam travel insurance for an upcoming trip to Asia. I can also change my destination to, say, Australia, and see how much the price would change if I went somewhere else. Faye allows you to customize which perks you want, although the exact details will vary based on the terms and conditions of your plan and state of residence. Possible options include cancel for any reason, rental car protection, and additional coverage for extreme activities that make your mom worried about your well-being. But I'll talk more about add-ons later. First things first, what's actually available with the Faye Travel Insurance package? Well, Faye offers insurance for one of the things that always goes wrong when you least expect it. I'm of course talking about health. With Faye, you can get coverage of up to $250K for emergency expenses abroad and up to $500K for emergency medical evacuation. Just keep in mind that the coverage you actually get can be less. Most importantly, illnesses caused by COVID-19 can also be covered. If you get sick from that particular virus, the illness is treated like any other disease, meaning you can benefit from trip cancellation and emergency medical expenses. And the insurance can cover quarantine accommodation costs as well. On top of that, the base plan even includes virtual access to a doctor when you travel to a foreign country. This is a great perk because quickly finding a doctor in another country can be quite a challenge, especially if you don't speak the local language. I experienced a situation like this when traveling to a conference in France. In a scenario like that, it's much easier to just open an app on your phone and connect with a doctor that way to get prescriptions. And don't forget that you can enjoy comprehensive travel insurance if you use the link in the description to grab Faye for your next trip. Airports are also places commonly responsible for many travel-related issues. Luckily, whether it's delays, cancellations, or other changes, Faye can cover you. If your trip is canceled, Faye offers up to 100% coverage of your non-refundable trip costs. Meanwhile, if your flight is interrupted, then you'll get even more coverage to cover costs for any extra transportation. As for trip delays, Faye can reimburse you daily up to a maximum of $2.1K for one trip if you're stuck in transit due to reasons outside your control and need an overnight hotel while you wait. You can even have coverage for regular trip inconveniences like flight delays and rental home lockouts. Alright, now's a good time to go over some likely scenarios to illustrate what is insurance for travel good for and how Faye might help you in those situations. Let's say you get seriously sick or injured before your trip, which is insured by Faye. Perhaps you got COVID, or maybe the travel provider went bankrupt because of rising gas prices. Anything can happen these days. In cases like these, you can cancel your entire trip and Faye can refund you up to 100% of your non-refundable expenses, like the cost of flights, hotel bookings, tickets, and other activities. This is included with your plan by default, so there's no need to have any extra add-ons to get this coverage. Or, let's say you're in good health but your flight gets delayed, which happens basically all the time if you're traveling in Southern Europe. The worst thing that could happen is you miss a connecting flight, which sets off a domino effect of multiple other inconveniences. You might need to book a hotel for the night, plan a new travel route, the whole 9 yards. Luckily, Faye can cover extra expenses that might otherwise put a serious dent in your vacation budget, thanks to their trip delay and inconvenience protections. Luckily, Faye can cover extra expenses that might otherwise put a serious dent in your vacation budget, thanks to their trip delay and inconvenience protections. Faye can also insure you against trip cancellations and interruptions that happen because of pre-existing health conditions. But there are some conditions to keep in mind here. As long as you purchase your plan within 14 days of your initial trip deposit and you're in good health when you buy the plan. Then, if you do have to cancel a trip because of health concerns, Faye can cover your losses. And with Faye, you'll have support throughout the claims process, making it easier to understand your coverage and next steps. Alright, there's one other thing I'd like to address, and I know that some of you probably don't even want to think about this. But given the unexpected travel disruptions that can occur, it's worth considering travel insurance that includes emergency evacuation coverage, subject to the plan's terms, conditions, and exclusions. You never know what kind of travel disruptions might occur due to instability or safety concerns in certain regions, and having up to $100K coverage for non-medical emergency evacuation in the event of natural disasters is a great reassurance. So, make sure you're safe in unpredictable situations by insuring your trip with Faye using the link in the description. Let's move on from the bigger stuff and have a look at how Faye covers some of the smaller things that are just as important when traveling worldwide. First up is luggage, which seems to get lost by airlines just as often as socks go missing after doing the laundry. Whether your belongings get lost or damaged, you'll have up to $2K coverage per trip. But most importantly, Faye offers 24/7 customer support, so you can talk to actual humans, not chatbots. This is great because getting help from an expert while you're traveling in new places is preferable to some unrelated answers from a bot. Like, you're asking about possible medical consultations in France, and it starts telling you how to buy travel insurance in Europe. No thanks. The Faye app even includes real-time flight alerts, meaning you could get some relevant updates about flight changes through the Faye app, many times even before the airline. And if you get hit with a 3 or more hour flight delay, Faye can offer access to over 1,400 lounges through Lounge Key. And if there's a non-participating lounge, you can get reimbursed up to $50 later. Now let's review how Faye handles payouts for various expenses. With most traditional insurance companies, you'd have to pay everything using your own money, submit a claim through email, then wait days, if not weeks, until you get an answer. Nope. Not even your money, just a response with additional information. Meanwhile, Faye takes a different approach. You can file your claim directly in the app during or after your trip, and once it's approved, payouts are often processed within hours, sometimes even the same day. Just keep in mind that larger or more complex claims may still require additional review and documentation. These reimbursements and other funds are deposited into your digital wallet in the Faye app, which you can use to pay for meals, hotels, medical bills, and other expenses covered by your insurance. Just tap to pay, and that's it. So basically, the Faye app is like a Swiss Army knife for handling any issue that may arise while traveling. And don't forget the Faye offer in the description if you'd like to have this multi-tool at your disposal. Now, besides those basics I just talked about, you can customize your Faye plan with add-ons based on your preferences and travel plans. That means there's no need to overpay for things that you don't actually need. So let's see what you can add on top. First, there's the aptly named Cancel for Any Reason. With it, you're eligible to get up to 75% back on your non-refundable trip costs if you change your travel plans for any reason. Then there's the rental car protection in cases you want peace of mind while driving a rental car on unfamiliar roads. You'll also want to get adventure and extreme sports coverage if you're going on a high adrenaline trip that has the potential to break a bone or two. With Faye, you'll get up to $250K coverage for international trips and $50K for domestic ones. That should easily cover traumas you might experience, which is why some consider Faye one of the best travel insurance for adventure travel. Or you might need vacation rental damage protection in cases where one of your house parties gets out of hand and leaves a noticeable mark somewhere. Alright, even though Faye travel insurance is great compared to traditional alternatives, there are still some drawbacks to keep in mind. Firstly, the maximum trip coverage is up to 180 days, which is 6 months. If you need more time to decompress, then you'll need to consider a different travel insurance solution. Secondly, while coverage for things like pre-existing health conditions is great, it only applies if specific conditions are met. In this case, you must purchase the insurance plan within 14 days of booking your trip and be medically fit to travel when you do so. Overall, Faye isn't reinventing travel insurance, but it's definitely making it much easier to deal with when things go wrong. And honestly, that's probably all you need to do to be considered one of the best travel insurance options on the market. That's all from me. Be sure to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Safe travels, and see you later.